All right, everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and today we're talking about regular energy. We're going to talk about how I spend this, how I think you should spend it, and why, right? If you guys missed it, I'll link it in the description down below. I discussed how I balance between farming signal data and character shards in the Cantina here, and we're going to do something similar with regular energy, guys. So we'll get right into this, but first and foremost, we must first pay homage to our boy, our king, Wampa. If you guys want to see Wampa hit Relic 8 live on stream, all we need to do is get this channel to 5,000 subscribers, guys. We have been flying through our goals for every single month. You guys are fantastic. I love every single one of you. Let's keep going and let's get Wampa all the way to Relic 8. All right, so let's talk about regular energy. Regular energy is what you spend for light side, dark side battles, right? There are three ways that I currently spend this energy, right? So obviously, I will spend it on farming character shards on hard nodes, right? So you guys know there's regular, which is like gear. And then if you go to the hard, right, there's character shards. So I will spend it on character shards. I will farm this node, light side 1D, for these pieces because I need these to scrap for relic materials for carbonite circuit boards. And then I will farm Chirotechs, right? Which is on, which node is it? Come on. I always lose what node the Chirotechs are on. Come on, is it 7? There they are. So I'll farm light side Chirotechs on 7B, and I will farm dark side Chirotechs on, I think they're on 8 though. Yeah, and I'll farm them on 8A, right? So three ways that you can split your regular energy: relic materials, Chirotechs, and character shards. Those are the three things. Those are the only three things that I think it's worth it to spend your regular energy on once you're beginning those Galactic Legend farms, right? Because you might need some of that gear early on, but as you continue to progress through, you'll need that gear less and less because gear accumulates naturally through daily challenges, raids, Grand Arena. All these different game modes will give you ways to get gear, especially with it doubled now. It's a lot easier to gear, and it's much harder now, I think. Very intentionally done by Capital Games. Like, even though they've increased the shard count, you're still going to have a lot more trouble getting characters than getting that core gear that you need to get them to like gear 11, right? So what's my current, farming plan, right? So if it wasn't for the Lord Vader farm, we're going to pause. I'm currently farming tickets for Lord Vader, so I only spend my energy in dark side energy because that's how I get my tickets for the event. But before that, I was farming armor every day. So I do 5 battles at 20 energy. That's 100 energy a day, right? So there's 100. I would then farm, she's second sister's dark side, so I can get, tickets for the event, right? So this is 60 energy a day. So there's 160 energy. Ninth sister is another, 60 energy, right? So there's 220 energy every day, right? Just hold on, we're still going. Bush Leia is another 12 energy node, right? I farm her because, again, dark side, get tickets. So now we're at 280 energy a day. And then finally, Skiffguard Lando is another 60 energy. So 340 energy a day. Now, that's going to sound like a lot to you guys, but I'm going to prove to you that that's not that much to spend on character shards because you're going to get 1 energy here. We'll wait for this to refresh. So every 6 minutes, and if you don't believe me, we're counting down, right? As this hits, watch. We're going to go from 75 to 76 energy here, and boom. Hold on. Come on. There's 76, and it's every 6 minutes you get 1 energy, right? So that's 10 free energy an hour, which is over 24 hours, 240 free energy, right? So I need 100 more energy every single day for free, right? That you can, that I need to do my character shards, which you get 45 energy a day 3 times. As long as you log in 3 times a day, you're going to get your, and when I say 3 times a day, like, you've got to log in. For me, it's at 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 7 o'clock, right? So I'll get 45 energy a day 3 times, which is 135 energy. So now my character farming is completely covered by just free energy that I get from the game, right? That I don't have to spend any crystals to do all of the hard nodes that I'm doing, right? And I actually have 35 left over. I wanted to show you guys that the 340 energy sounds like a lot until I broke it down for you, right? That that's completely covered by just free stuff, not spending any crystals. So if you do one energy refresh for regular, which you should every day, as soon as you can, one energy refresh a day, right? Because you need to hit 600 for a guild, but also you get those crystals for free and it's going to improve your faster. I would still probably add in another character. Like I would probably add in Vander Chewbacca if I was early on in the game, right? Because I'm much later in the game, I benefit more from getting Kyratex or getting relic materials than I do character shards at the moment because like I'm going right from armor to Jabba and then to Inquisitors. So spending time getting Vandor, yes, it'll help, but I'm not going to gear him for a little bit. So I'd rather do my stuff in pieces. And you guys know that from watching the channel. And if you're new to the channel, I have a ton of stuff that you guys can watch. You'll see how I go through my farming. But there's 340 a day in regular energy, 35 left over. If you do another refresh, right, spend it on characters and any excess, like you're going to have a little bit left over, you could throw it on gear, right, Kyratex or something. Me, I use the 340 for characters, and then everything else is going to go into either Carbonite circuit boards, my Kyratex. Where are you at? Gosh, again, I already lost them, guys. Isn't that horrible? 7. Yeah. Kyratex, light side, dark side. With the 3 energy refreshes that I'm doing a day, right? That's 150 crystals. That's 360 energy, right? You get 120 per refresh. So, that's 360 energy plus another whatever's left over. So I'm a little bit more on the side of farming Kyratex than I am, or relic materials than I am characters. And that's because I'm a late game player. I have so many of these characters 7-star just from over the years, right? If you're in that mid game, early game, you'll want to focus more on getting characters to 7 stars and accumulate that gear naturally. That's just one man's personal opinion. I think that character shards are going to become a bigger and bigger crunch as the gear has changed, right? With these gear changes where stuff is doubled in these stores. Like I just want to show an example here in the canteen or in the guild activity store. Like I've got over 1,000 Carbonis, I've got 1,500 of these. I've got even stockpiling this gear, which I never used to be able to do because I always needed core gear. And then if I go to my heat sinks here, right? So I've got droid collars out. I've got tons of stun guns, stun cuffs, even Mark III, holo projectors. I've got over 400 of those because with this gear change, I'm getting stuff so much faster, and that's leading me to this, this point that I'm at where I used to say you'll want to farm gear, but with that core gear going to where you can spend all of your resources in stores on Kyratex, gear 13 gear, gear 12 gear, right? Focusing your hard, your regular energy on shards is going to be the most important thing you can do for your roster. And this goes into whether you're farming characters or farming ships with that, right? It doesn't matter whether it's a character or a ship that you're farming, that you're using the energy for. You want to find that probably, as you transition from the mid game to the late game, you could maybe go 50-50. But if you're in that mid game still, I would still say you want to go more towards 60-40 on that character shards versus gear. Because otherwise you're going to get to this point where you're not going to have enough characters for the gear that you have accumulated, and then you're just going to need to catch up, right? Again, guys, one man's personal opinion. Wanted to show you my roster. I guess not so much show you my roster, show you my farming and how it's impacting my roster. Give you guys some guidelines on how to use your regular energy, how best to go about it. Again, this is an ever-changing game. If they put out a change where character shards go to 4 times, which they just did 2, so they wouldn't really do 4, but if they ever change some of that stuff, right, then this has to change because it needs to evolve with what's needed in the game. But let me know what your guys' thoughts are. As always, I love every single one of you. Smash that subscribe button if you're still watching, guys, because obviously if you're at this point in the video, you must like what I'm saying. Leave a comment. May the force be with you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.